classical elements of the Vedic Puncha Bota. The axis Mundi corresponds to ether in quintessence. Now, after that, I'm going to go ahead and get to the next topic that I do want to talk about. I want to bring it up. And that is going to be the let me see here. This is a tough one because I do want to go in order a certain way. So the next one is going to be, the next topic I am going to get into is the Agig Iro Fa. Now the Agig Iro Fa, also called the Iletfa, or the Tree of Life, the Vilag Fa, the World Tree, or Tetjetlen Fa, the tree without a top, is an element of Hungarian shamanism and native faith, and a typical element of Hungarian folklore and folktales, and is also a distinct folktale type. Several of these tales have versions of the Transylvanian, Germanic, Romanian, Romani, Serbian, Croatian, Bulgarian, and Turkish versions, and other cultures as well that are in Asia. But the origin of the Hungarian tales go back to the Teltos tradition of Hungarians. The Teltosok, or the shamans, are the humans who are entitled to climb up the Igig Uro Fa and wander in the 7 or 9 layers of the sky. One version of these tales is about the Kishkondas, or the small swineherd, who climbs up the tree to save the princess, who is held captive by a dragon, as told by the Vilaguru Svet Miklos tale. Now, the tree is a frequent element of certain funny tales, in which, for example, a gypsy climbs up into heaven and then down into hell. The world tree often grows out of a reindeer or a horse. It often carries among its branches the sun and the moon. This latter concept is typical of Uralic and Siberian people. The tree often stands on the world mountain, with its top in the sky and its roots in hell, where snakes and toads live. In the tales, birds often sit on top of the tree. For example, eagles, hawks, and mythical Hungarian bird, the turtle. Now, I do want to talk about the turtle. That's going to be coming up here very, very soon. So after I'm done here, I am going to go and discuss the turtle with you guys. I believe I already have it. Yeah, I've got it set up here. I just want to make sure that I have it set up and ready to go next. So, and I also want to point out too that when you go and you read these stories, the ones especially about climbing up the tree, that tell me that does not resonate. The beanstalk. That's a classic story that goes back. And I just wanted to point that out. That and that story apparently isn't just a humorous story. It actually goes back all the way to classic times, or ancient times, I guess, if you consider this stuff as being a part of ancient history. Because I know I know time's not linear. What's ancient in the Middle East isn't necessarily what's ancient in the Americas. At least I am aware of that. And I'm not saying that everything should be in the BCE area or era, you know what I mean? Because I understand that. So it's just, for me, a preference. It's just the way I feel about it, you know what I mean? Like, ancient times to me is this, and that's basically it. So, but that's something I did want to point out, is the beanstalk. So that really does stick out to you when you go through and you read about this. So the world tree often grows out of a reindeer or a horse. Here lately, I've been noticing that the reindeer is very, very important when it comes to Siberia. The Siberian people, they actually herd reindeers and use them like how most people here would use a horse for a carriage or something. They actually domesticate reindeers and use them the same way. So that's kind of cool, when you stop and think about it. So that's something else that I did want to point out. But I will be getting back to Turl here in a little bit. Now, Hungarian scholarship argues that the Arni Thomas Uther Index tail type AATH 468, a tail type that involves climbing a giant tree, is a reflection of ancient shamanic practices. In particularly, Hungarian-American scholar Linda Day, or how DEGH, based on an analysis of CA70 variants of Hungary and nearby countries, concluded that the type AATH 468, the tree that reached to the sky, is a Hungarian ethnic tale associated with the prehistoric shamanistic religion of ancient Hungarians and their linguistic kindred. Now, I do want to also get into that. The tree that reaches to the sky actually is also a part of another series. It's called The Giant Who Had No Heart in His Body. That's the one that I really do want to get into. I'm not going to do the tree that reaches to the sky right now. But it is good, or it's worthy to mention that if you want to check this out, this is a really good one. So I just don't want to have a whole conversation about the beanstalk, So the tree that reached to the sky, now that's a Hungarian ethnic tale associated with the prehistoric shamanistic religion of ancient Hungarians and their linguistic kindred. Slavicist Karol Horalek, studying variants of the Arne Thompson Uther Index, tail type ATU 302, ogre's heart in the egg, remarked that a particular Central European, in Hungary and neighboring countries version of this type shows the hero climbing a giant tree and arriving at a hidden upper realm. After a series of adventures, he marries a princess of this upper realm, and she gives him a set of keys, warning him never to open a certain door. He disobeys her and releases a villain of the tale, an episode very similar to the Russian tale Maria Morevna. Hungarian ethnographer Julia Ortute was of the opinion that the narrative was a valuable Hungarian tale. On the other hand, Karol Haralek suggests that the narrative developed a Hungarian archetype with its prominent feature in the tall tree and the actions that surrounded it. According to the scholar Christian Goldberg, further studies of tale type AATH468 using the historical geographic method included that its characteristic motif is a shaman tree. The tale type is not widely known outside of Hungary. It shares episodes with other tale types, namely AT 300-310 or 300 through 310. In the same vein, Linda Day, in her tabulation of all known variations available to her, indicated that Type 46A included in its narrative sequence episodes of a small cycle of other tale types. The Dragon Slayer, Types 300 to 302, the I Don't Know Complex, Types 314, 530, and 532, the Bride of the Other World, Type 400, the Magic Flight, Type 300. According to her, combination with Type 301 appears in South Slavic variances, and with Type 400 in Romania. The tree features in an episode in the Hungarian television series Magyar Nemesek, which is the Hungarian folk tales, and then Who, with the title As Igig Iro Fa, the giant tree. So that's what we have there, and I'm going to stop on that topic, and I'm going to go into the turtle. Now, the eagle and the serpent is what I want to stay focused on, and then the world tree, because that stuck out to me whenever I was also studying the Sumerian mythologies and religions. So I do want to bring that up. So the turtle. The turtle is a mythical bird of prey, mostly depicted as a falcon in Hungarian tradition and Turkic tradition, and a national symbol of the Hungarians. The turtle is probably based on a large falcon. The Hungarian language word Turiel meant one kind of falcon, and the origin of the word is currently thought to be most likely Turkic, which is the language of origin of over 10% of words in modern Hungarian lexicon, and the exonym Hungarian in the word Hun, tigris or tugrul, means a medium to large bird of prey of the family Accipitridae, goshawk, or red kite. In Hungarian, the word solyom means falcon. And there are three ancient words describing different kinds of falcons. That is Karixin, which is in Greek, the Saker falcon. Then Zongor, which is Turkish. Sungur equals girl falcon, or Geyer falcon, which survives in the male name Songor, and Terrell.